Welcome to the episode that is called My Story. Theoretically, I started in 2016 when I bought my first Canon 700D. I was filming and editing gameplays and stuff like that on the computer since I was a little kid. I always had a passion for business, and at the age of 13 I was organizing offline game competitions at the internet cafe. So back to the story I was telling you, in 2016 I was thinking about buying a camera because I thought I can make money with it. I was thinking that girls will pay me 10 euros to take some pictures of them on the street, and that's my business plan that's gonna make me rich. Well, it wasn't like that at all. I asked my dad to help me with the money to buy the camera, and that's what I did. I went out with my girlfriend and took some pictures of people having the fun of their lives. It was winter at that time, so I learned all I could about my camera and took a picture of a mother and her child. I guess it was her. So it was them on the sledge, and somehow the focus was on point, and I don't really have the conversation on WhatsApp with the guy I convinced to shoot his 18th birthday party to show you, but he was impressed that I took that shit picture. So don't think that much about the work you do, cause people don't always know the difference between a pro picture and a bad one. So people from Romania celebrate their 18th birthday at a restaurant or a chalet and have lots of fun together. They also hire a photographer that goes there for 50 or 100 euros as a beginner and 200 to 300 as a pro. We don't talk about the pussies that charge more than 300 or 500 just because they think they deserve more. I don't know why I call them pussies, because I do the same. If I don't really want to shoot something, instead of saying no, I would charge them more than I usually do, and if they say yes, it's okay for me because I already charge more than I would do. Back to the subject. So rich kids also hire a videographer, and this was one of the chances I had to move from photography to videography. I didn't mention it, but I started with photography, not videography, when I bought my first camera and had the age around 18, so that's why it was easier for me to grow with these 18-year-old parties. Had like more than 100 of them in the next 2 years, but things changed and somehow I wasn't landing parties anymore. I was doing better and better at photography at that time, but something happened and people didn't call me anymore, so I switched to video. I was doing my best trying to film vlogs and things in my garden, but the videos were a total mess. In the same time, I was texting people from Romania that were in videography, and some of them replied back, and we are friends today. This is called networking. If you do this, it will help you land more jobs than you'll ever think. At some point, at one of my parties, I met a guy. He was a DJ and he had an agency that had all the services: photography, videography, music, lights, stuff like that, blah blah blah. And at that time, I thought I met God. He hired me to shoot a wedding for 50 euros and he was charging like 500 in total. So he was keeping 450 and I was doing the job for him. Of course it was good just like that, because that way I was learning how to shoot a wedding properly, and I was even getting paid to learn. It's a hard and long process to fully succeed in this business and become financially independent, but in the end it's gonna worth it. I shot more and more weddings. My first commercial, which was an Airbnb cleaning service, charged like 80 euros for that. Also, I don't usually charge like 1000 euros because people think 1000 is bigger than 1100, and I don't know how it works, but 1100 works better than 1000, and 900 also works better than 1000. Use that if you want to. For me it's working. This is also a good tip I can give you. Had more and more parties and weddings until COVID came. At the time I thought it's gonna be a good year and I will make some good money. COVID fucked everything up and it said, nope, you're gonna be broke, bro. I was hanging out with two of my friends on the streets every night. Don't ask me how. I did some shit with the papers and I was allowed to go out and do what I want because I was smart. One of these two had a nice BMW 5 Series and he made it look like an M5. So I thought, why don't we shoot a video with it? Because all we need is a camera, a car with someone to drive it, me in the trunk to film the M5, and the M5. At that time I had a Sony A7S Mark I. I still have it and I still shooting weddings with it as a second shooter camera. Shot that video in 2 nights, a few hours, and edited it in 3rd night. At that time I bought a drone, a Mavic Pro for it, and I still use it today because I hacked it and I can fly it anywhere I want, whatever I want, so it's a good drone. By now you can see you don't need the best gear to shoot something cool. You only need your brain and a even a low budget camera to shoot with.